Chinese-made AI tool DeepSeek is shaking up Silicon Valley and really the United States stock market, with U.S. President Donald Trump saying it should motivate American companies.
The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser-focused on competing to win, because we have the greatest scientists in the world.
DeepSeek says it has developed AI models for a fraction of what U.S. models cost. It shared that news last week, and now it has dethroned ChatGPT as the #1 free app in Apple's App Store. Stock markets have reached a massive sell-off of tech stocks, with NVIDIA stocks plummeting in the single greatest one-day value wipeout of any company in history, which is why we have brought in John Ehrlichman this morning, financial commentator, a little bit more on the story. So, John, this came out last week. There was a lot of skepticism in the AI world saying, is this a dupe or a counterfeit? Is this something that they've done legally or illegally, or is this a copy of American-made? And once it hit the consumer market, now we have this story.
Yeah, that's right. This is a Chinese startup that, like a lot of startups around the world, is working on these AI models. Why not? It's like one of the coolest areas to work on technology anywhere in the world right now. And this was started by, interestingly, his background was like he was a hedge fund manager, and he was interested in testing the limits of AI, so he started building a team. And you're right, Anne-Marie, that based on what we seem to be told, they were able to build something very successful as a AI chatbot at a fraction of the cost that we thought it would take to get these powerful applications going. So the reason the stock market had a freak out yesterday, to say the least, is because all the assumptions were based on the fact that big technology companies were going to have to spend hundreds of billions of dollars to build out the right infrastructure and data centers to meet the needs of what these chatbots would ultimately mean. So everyone's having a bit of a pause this morning to reflect on what this actually means.
Well, because there's a lot of things at stake here. We know that Donald Trump's, sort of main banner is America First. And $470 billion for the AI industry in America, when China is saying, we can do the same thing for a lot less. That doesn't fit his model.
Right. And, it's interesting. Trump came into office and wanted the U.S. to be the AI leader of the world, and they probably still can be. I mean, quite frankly, you've got the Silicon Valley companies, all that money they're spending. I guess in theory, some of it might feel like wasted money, but it's probably going to give them some kind of advantage. I think the bigger story is that AI does not rest in one country or another, right? This is technology that's going to be making its way around the world. And I think one of the things that the security experts were always so worried about was, as soon as we are pitting AI from one company versus another, because that's exactly what's happening in the US too, how far is the AI going to go to serve its master? And if your master is a technology company, that's one thing. If it's a government around the world, what are the nefarious things behind the AI story? I think the tension is that there's already a relationship between the U.S. and China that is uncertain. And then when you take the most powerful technology in the world and you put it in the middle of the conversation, it also creates these geopolitical questions.
Let's talk about NVIDIA, because that's really what grabbed everybody's attention, I would say. Shares dropped nearly 17% on Monday, and by the end of the day, the company had lost, I mean, this number, you can't even comprehend, $589 billion in one day in market capitalization. We said this already, this is the largest loss in U.S. history for a single company. Why did it take such a hit? It's about the chips.
Yes. So to make this magic, these amazing AI tools, you need, we thought, the most powerful chips in the world, which actually NVIDIA basically invented. And this DeepSeek app also used NVIDIA chips, just as far as we know, not the most powerful ones on the market. So every day NVIDIA is making more powerful chips. They're very expensive. And they have basically all of the market share and not enough supply. So when that's your market, your stock goes up and up and up again. And now there's this question, well, hold on a second, do people actually have to pay as much for these chips? But there's a flip side. which is that there's actually a lot of companies that couldn't get their hands on this technology because it was already promised to other technology companies or the highest bidders. This actually might allow for this AI technology to make its way into more parts of the tech ecosystem. I mean, we'll see.
So at the end of the day, it comes down to was the AI industry fleecing the U.S. government? Were they increasing the valuation of what their research, what their product was worth? When you look at a company and a country who can do it for so much less. Is this a case, a little bit of emperor's new clothes? We're like, we're going to be the leaders in the world. It's going to cost us $500 billion to do it. And China says, no, it didn't cost us that much.
Well, I've covered Silicon Valley for a long time. There was always hype, and they are good at selling their story. I think the jury's out, because we haven't really seen this new app put to the test when all of the world wants to use it constantly. And I think that's the belief, is that, you start with a chatbot, but then this AI technology takes all different forms, right? Now people are making images like that with this stuff. So does that compute power allow you to replicate whatever's been done so far with this app? So I think we'll have to see with time. But Silicon Valley is good at selling quite a story to the markets, that's for sure.
It is fascinating to look at, especially, it's kind of like the space race, but now we're talking about AI.
AI, yeah.
John Ehrlichman, always great to have you here.
Thanks,
Thank
Anne-Marie.
you. If you liked that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.